All right, finally we have some sunshine outside. Thank you, skate gods. It has been a month of just miserable rain around here, flooding in some parts of New South Wales, which is very sad to see. People losing houses, their cattle, their worldly possessions, and all of that. And for that, I send out my deepest sympathies for everybody there involved in that one. We got kind of lucky here. We live in an apartment block, and the shop's like on the main road at the hill, top of the hill. So wasn't much around us, but it's very disheartening to see what's going on around. Not that far from here. So people can't make it to work. People have lost power. Roads are closed. Everything, and it's really, 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 really sad to see. So my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by the floods. So owning your own skate shop independently in the current days, hard. I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my life about something I love so much. You know, every kid as a skateboarder, you dream of becoming a pro skateboarder or owning your own shop or being involved in the industry somehow. And you think once you're in it, it's just all rainbows and unicorns and, you know, everything's, all your problems are solved. But unfortunately, it's not. You somewhat struggle to keep the love of it. And it's only in the harder times, you know, when everything's, you know, walking out the door and sales are booming, skateboarding's the best. And then when they stop and the sales stop and the people start walking through the door, you start questioning yourself, your vision, everything. And then you start to turn it around. Do I even love skateboarding? Blah, blah, blah. And you can't help it, as you want to tell yourself so much that everything's going to be okay and you love this stuff and don't think about this, times will get better. And they do. And then they get worse again, and then they get better again, and then they get, you know, and you just got to ride that roller coaster. And hopefully when you hit the lows aren't enough to send you over the edge. Which unfortunately in Newcastle, 2 shops this year, only recently, have closed their doors. That's scary, super scary. A lot of people have contacted us and it's like, oh, you know, you guys are going to kill it now. You're the only one left and blah, blah, blah. That's not how I see it. I see it as 2 skate shops that were independently owned by skateboarders are now gone. That's how I see it. That's scary. I see it as what do we do to get the people back into the skate shops? Like when I was a kid, admittedly, there was no real online shopping and all of that when I was younger. You had to go to the local skate shop. Social media wasn't around when I was a kid. That played a huge part. To understand what was going on in skateboarding, you had to go to your local shop. You had to go in there and look around, and there was posters and skateboarders you'd never heard of and brands, and it was scary because you were learning so much, but also it was intimidating and all of that. Now everybody can just access everything, and that's scary to the point where people somewhat don't need skate shops anymore. And that's hard to comprehend for me personally, because I go to the skate park and I see the kids down there, and even kids that I've helped, and they've got a new board or new wheels or new trucks, and they've bought it online, and then they ask you to sponsor them or share their stuff to promote them. And it kind of trips me out because I wouldn't have had the audacity to do that when I was younger. But not saying that it's their fault. and they're directly trying to do it towards me. It's just the shift in the culture. I'm 38 now. I grew up in a different era, in a different way, in a completely different time. The suburb I grew up in was poor. We lived in housing commission, single mum. So me personally, I cherished everything about skateboarding, anything I was given, whether it was a World Industries board with no kicks, an old Zorlak, a hand-me-down, like anything to get me away from the big W whale complete that I had for a lot of years. I rode different sized wheels on my board. I remember at one time I had 3 like popsicle wheels and 1 cruiser. I didn't care. I went down to the skate park and ridiculed and laughed at and whatever else, but gave me thick skin. I learned a lot in those days, and it's sad to see where skateboarding somewhat is heading with skate shops. And you sit here and you rack your brain trying to think of, how do I change it? What do I do? We've had burger days, we do breaks, we give stuff away, we donate to we set up a Christmas tree and people donated, and we gave that to the poorer communities, and we've got people donate and give clothes to women's shelters, and you do all of these things for the community, not just so they walk through the door. That's not the only reason I do it. I do it because I grew up that way. I grew up without anything. I've seen what happens in those areas and how that influences a lot of decisions in your life. I just got lucky, I think. A lot of my friends that I grew up with aren't so lucky or weren't so lucky. A lot of them aren't here today to talk about it. And that's a story for another day, but what I wanted to do was open up a shop that I feel like the community deserves. Somebody that just loves skateboarding to the bone and loves this community with everything I've got. I've put everything into this here, and trying to help the next generation, even rekindle the older dudes' love for skateboarding, like guys my age, that if I can inspire the dudes 3 years younger than me, they can inspire the dudes 3 years younger than them, and so forth and so forth. We're setting a good example for the next generation of skateboarders. And that's what I wanted to, that's my view here, or what we want to try and, I don't know, just make. I want a shop that everybody in the community is stoked on, and they think about it and they think, oh, I could get this board $20 cheaper online, but I'd rather go give it to Ty and Amigos and Laurie. And then they have that knowledge in their head of like, because he's just going to help the community. And I don't want $1 million. I don't want a big house. I don't want cars. I don't want fancy things. I'm not a fancy person. All I want is a skateboard, to be able to watch baseball and just have a great relationship with my girlfriend and everyone be happy around me. And that's all I want. So every time we get ahead here, if we ever do, we just put that money into free burger days or the games of skate, all sorts of different things that I've done, and that eats into stuff that, like, everyone goes to work to pay bills and to live and to eat, and I'm using some of the money that I've worked my ass off for to just give back straight away. And every time we do, it's great. Everyone turns out, everyone, you know, and you see everyone's faces light up. But I'm not saying it's everybody's fault. I'm to blame as well. We might not do it consistently enough to keep that momentum. I do a lot of parodies and a lot of joking around and a lot of taking the piss and a lot at myself as well. And that doesn't resonate with everybody. A lot of people in today's society are so stressed and so serious that they can't see the brighter side. And I struggle some days to see the brighter side of life and all of those bits and pieces. But you know, skateboarding's fun. I think I get more stoked sometimes when I go to the skate park and even see a kid drop in for the first time, see that look on his face or her face. You know, it's like they're a superhero. There's just this whole new world that just unlocked like that. And to see that is, it's the greatest. It's greatest. I get more stoked seeing that than something I do. I'd rather be the guy at the skate park in the background, you know, just being stoked for everybody. Also, I want to get out there and rip as well. But at the moment, it feels like my days are numbered in that sense. But if I can inspire the next generation and pass on the torch of the passion and the fire and that through this skate shop, then I'll die a happy man. Oh, I really will. You know, the one thing that really stokes me out about having a shop is seeing somebody buy a complete for the first time, seeing that kid come in and just like the look on their face when they look down and they've just got this thing they've dreamed of for years. And to be able to provide that and be a part of that is so heartwarming. And that's why we do it. That's why independently owned skate shops need to survive. And, you know, I will keep fighting and I'll you know, as they say, till the wheels fall off, I'll keep pushing through and I'll keep, you know, riding the highs and riding the lows and all the rest of it. And hopefully with some sunshine coming out, we can get out there and do some skateboarding and put some skateboarding on this channel and different bits and pieces and really inspire people to follow their dreams and don't let anything hold you back. Nothing. Don't let society, other people's opinions, whatever else. Just do whatever makes you happy. What makes me happy is being here, serving skateboards, as sad as, weird as that sounds, to the local community, and just getting to hang out with my friends and my family and go skateboarding and just live. And that's all I want for everybody, is just that happiness and that feeling. And nothing makes you feel freer than just hammering down a hill or doing a frontside grind or, you know, seeing a kid drop in or do his first ollie. You know, nothing compares to that. And if you don't skate, start. It's the greatest. But yeah, I've explained this to so many people that don't skate and they can't quite comprehend what this thing is. And, you know, you get the, you're too old. And I did a parody and video the other day and it resonated with a lot of people, but you're never too old. You're never too old to start. You're never too old to stop. And if anyone out there needs anything, hit us up with the comments below. I should probably get going and open this shop. It's a sunny day. Saturday. Hopefully get out and skate soon. And yeah. But yeah, support independently owned skate shops in whatever area you live in, whatever part of the world you're from. They're the only guys that truly care about your skateboarding community, not the chain stores, not the surf shops, not the people that have just jumped onto the trend and are now selling skateboards in their fashion stores. It's more than that. Skateboarding is more than that. Yeah, much love, everybody. And until next time, stay rad.